Africa was not built by an army of angels. No, it was built by human beings. And I'm submitting to us that going forward, like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, we must make a choice. And I'm submitting to us that we must change now. Because if we don't change now, you are going to be subdued by other civilization. And as I said at one forum, and I repeat it now, there are two ways of being at the dinner table of civilization. You can be at the dinner table as a diner or as a waiter. Choose you now. Whether you want to be a diner or a waiter, choose you now. In the intervening period, we must eat. In the intervening period, we must go to school. In the intervening period, we must make Africa great. And we can make Africa great. What pains me most is when I see young men dying in the Mediterranean Sea. You know, a long time ago, they took Africans to Europe and Caribbean a long time ago. And they were wailing and kicking. And I've seen the dramatization of Alex Haley's Roots. And I've seen how in Roots a young man is taken from the Gambia, Kunta Kinte. And I've seen how Kunta Kinte refuses to change his name. And they call him Toby, but he says, I'm Kunta Kinte. Ultimately, for strategic reasons, he accepts the name Toby. But he retains Kunta Kinte throughout the ages. And 200 years later, Alex Haley is able to trace his roots. But today, young Africans are going to Europe willingly to be enslaved. It's slavery by another name. Because you are paying wages, you are paid wages that can barely keep you alive. I'm submitting to you who are here. Africa is the land of action. I'm submitting to you here that the Europeans will never respect you if you don't respect yourselves. Because respect is earned, not given. I'm submitting to you that you will never sit on the table of civilization as equal partners unless you are demonstrated that you are worthy of being a diner rather than a waiter. Choose you now what you shall do. And let me tell you one thing. The African continent has been traumatized and remains traumatized to date. Africans were enslaved. Africans were colonized. Africans claim that we gained our independence, but the neo-colonial project is alive and well. Speak to Ngugi wa Thiong'o, he'll tell you that our minds are still colonized. And that is why he talks about decolonizing the mind. Because throughout the ages, the battle has always been the battle of the minds. That is where it is won and lost. And one of the things that I've discovered over the ages is that those who want to control you, the first thing that they do is to change your name. Even God changes his name when he wants to deal with you. When you are Abraham, he makes you Abraham. When you are Sarai, he makes you Sarah. And the very first thing that the colonialists did was to change our names, to convince us that a Christian name could only be Andrew and Mary and Jane and all these other names, that Kamau cannot be a Christian name, that Njoroge cannot be a Christian name, and we believed it. And I'm submitting to us that there is a sense in which our minds are not free. I'm submitting to us that at all critical times in history we have to make painful choices. I'm speaking to you, African, are present here. What choices have you made? Have you made choices to run away to the United States to get the green card? Is that your choice? Have you made a choice to run away to Europe to flip hamburger? Have you made a choice to run away to go to Europe and to be humiliated at the embassies of the United States of America, Australia, and the United Kingdom? I'm submitting to us that we must change, because the divine instruction is that each one of us must make do with what we have. It cannot be right that a continent that is so blessed has our young men and women with only one ambition: to go to the United States. I know family.
This is Biafra Television, exposing the lies.
Good morning from here and welcome to Sunrise Daily News Report on BTV. I am Ngozi Kachuku. Here are the news headlines. As 20 million now face devastation, UN ranks Nigeria with Somalia, Yemen and South Sudan. UNICEF ranks Nigeria as the third worst nation that defecates in the open environment. Mieti Allah-sponsored attacks that killed 2,000 in 14 Benue local governments. APC is a formation of hate, anger, frustration, envy and malice, Sule Lamido. IPB replies Lai Mohammed reveals when the Biafran referendum will take place. Buhari kills and steals under the cover of democracy, Fani Kayode. Now the international news. China crackdown. Police storm church and arrest Christians for holding Sunday service as its war on Christianity intensifies. Migrants sold into slavery in Libya tell of total hell. And finally, U.S. wants to divide Sudan into 5 parts, President al-Bashir. Now the news in details. 8 years after Boko Haram launched a senseless war that has claimed over 20,000 lives and displaced over 1.8 million people now scattered in IDP camps across northeastern Nigeria. The real cost of the fratricidal war now beckons on 8.5 million people are in urgent need of life-saving assistance, 5.2 million are in dire need of food security interventions, and 3.4 in urgent need of nutrition assistance. But the food for all of these is not readily available, putting the fate of the victims in the balance and the future in uncertainty. According to OCHA, the humanitarian crisis in Nigeria's northeast and the Lake Chad region is one of the most severe in the world today, with 8.5 million people in need of humanitarian assistance in 2017, in the worst affected states of Borno, Adamawa and Yobe, with the war now in its 8th year, showing no signs of abating. The humanitarian situation in the northeast has become pronounced and caught the attention of the United Nations Secretary General, who recently raised the alarm that at least 20 million people in Nigerian northeast, Somalia, Yemen and South Sudan are facing devastating levels of food security and asked for urgent intervention to avert the disaster. Just a few weeks after the Nigerian police was ranked the worst in the world, the nation has taken another blow in terms of ranking. As time, it sits on the 3rd position of world ranking number of countries with high rate of open defecation. The United Nations Children Fund, UNICEF, is however worried and have ordered that urgent action be taken to curb the practice as the country can no longer withstand the effects. UNICEF suggested that Nigeria adopt the pay and use latrine system to curb the menace. Zai Juru, UNICEF's chief on water and sanitation section, pointed out that the practice is unhealthy and has negative effects on the people's health. The Mieti Allah Kotal Ho, a cattle breeders association of the Fulani herders, has been accused as responsible of 40 deadly attacks that occurred in 14 local government areas in Benue State and claimed 20,000 lives between 2013 to 2016. Also, over 2,000 people were alleged to have been killed by the herdsmen, with no fewer than 500,000 people displaced due to the Fulani herdsmen attack on the state in the past 3 years. This was disclosed at a press conference in Makurdi by the Pan-Social Cultural Group in Benue State, comprising of Izom, UTV, Idoma National Forum, and Omini Gede. They stated that people of the state were still in search of 500 persons as a result of Fulani herdsmen attack. At this moment, we will be going on a break. Don't go away.
This is Biafra Television, exposing the lies. This is Biafra Television, exposing the lies. This is Biafra Television, exposing the lies.
Welcome back. Still on the news. The governor of Jigawa State, Sule Lamido, has said that the All Progressive Congress, APC, is a formation of hate, anger, frustration, envy, and malice. Lamido also criticized the APC presidential candidate Muhammadu Buhari for not speaking up when atrocities were committed in previous governments. The governor stated this during the People's Democratic Party Governors Forum in Lagos. Lamido further illustrated that under Abacha, Buhari was watching high-profile murders taking place. He never said anything. He never said a word about security, and the governor said, calling into question the APC candidate's ability to tackle insecurity and corruption in Nigeria. Also, Governor Ayo Farisha of Ekiti State also urged Nigerians not to vote for Buhari, saying that the former head of state is too bad to rule the country. IPOB replies Lai Mohammed reveals when Biafra referendum will come. The indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, has replied a statement made by the Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, said that the group was dead and gone. Reacting to the minister's recent statement on the group, IPOB said the minister and those he works for would know by middle of next year when a referendum will take place, and to know that IPOB was not dead but alive, insisting that no amount of propaganda would eliminate the group. And more powerful, they are an IPOB family, and its leadership worldwide do not wish to join issues with Mohammed or those who may desire to indulge in the laughable fantasy that IPOB has been weakened as a result of the successful Anambra election boycott. Mohammed's comment should be viewed as a cleverly contrived divisionary tactic to deflect attention away from the devastating impact of the boycott on the psyche of the corrupt ruling Nigeria. We are therefore inclined to ask all right-thinking people to disregard the latest outburst from Mohammed, or better regard it as one of those his numerous ill-conceived utterances. Buhari kills and steals under the cover of democracy, Fani Kayode. The former Minister of Aviation, Femi Fani Kayode, has accused President Muhammadu Buhari of killing and stealing under the guise of democracy. In his statement, I could not have put it better myself. It takes courage to stand for truth and challenge the most vicious, barbaric, corrupt, and oppressive government that Nigeria has ever known. Buhari kills and steals under the cover of democracy. He is a bloodthirsty human being and thieving stasis cloaked in the garb of a populist leader. This moment, we'll be going on a break. We'll be right back.
For God, make it give us things we go do. Someday, every day we dey cry on God, make it give us a good leader. Make it look the way them they kill my people. They make me they cry.
This is Biafra Television, exposing the lies.
Welcome back. Now the international news. Chinese police broke into a church service and